Hello friends, it's Katie back with another episode of my vlog, and it's the beginning of the month and the beginning of the year, which means it's time for a studio update. When I first started this vlog a year ago, happy vlogiversary to me, the first thing I did was a studio update, and I stated then that my intention was to do a studio update usually once a month. And I think I've totally failed to do that in the last year. I don't think I've done 12 studio updates, but let's get back on track. Here I am. It's near the beginning of the month and time for another studio update. So what have I been working on? The main thing I've been working on is this quilt behind me right here. You guys have probably seen it in various states of undoneness, hanging up on the wall behind me. And if you've been watching every episode of this vlog, you've also heard me talking about it and giving a little bit of details about how I've been working on it. But this thing is almost done, or rather the piecing is totally done. It's now one big unified piece all sewed together. And the next step for that one is quilting. It's actually pretty funny. There's so many steps to making a quilt, and quilting is actually the second to last step of all of them. So when I make a quilt, especially when I make one like this from hand-dyed fabric, first I have to bind up the fabric, then I have to dye the fabric, then I have to cut the fabric, then I have to, well, at some point in there, I designed the quilt. Sometimes I design it ahead of time. This one I did more on the fly as I was cutting and assembling the fabric, because I really wanted to see what that fabric looked like cut up into smaller pieces and then rearranged before I settled on the final design of the quilt. I'm pretty happy with how this has come out. I really like how they all the half square triangles came together, and I'm pretty proud of myself. All my points are matched really well. All my lines look really nice on this one. It's a little challenging with this type of pattern to get that like exactly right. But I did it. So the next step for this quilt is going to be the actual quilting step. I'm kind of going back and forth between a couple of different ideas for how I want to quilt it, but then that's going to be the next step. And then the last step is binding it. That's when you create that beautiful finished edge with the fabric going all the way around the edge. So I'm super stoked on this quilt. It's coming together really awesomely. I'm super pleased that I'm getting to make this quilt. One of my dearest and oldest friends, a woman who I have known for almost 40 years now, which is pretty amazing. I realized I've actually known her longer than I've known my own brother, because I've only known him for 38 years. But she's just had her first baby. Amazing, sweet baby Emrys, who I've only met through pictures, of course. But I am so delighted to be able to make a quilt for this brand new person who's just entered the world a few weeks ago. And of course, I'm a little bit of a hippie, so I put lots of love and positive energy into this quilt. Whenever I'm working on it, I try not to like listen to negative news or like really negative music or anything like that, so that I can kind of, get into it and just fill this quilt with all of the positive intentions and love, and all of the good stuff that I want to send to this baby. So, super stoked about that project, and it should be finished actually pretty soon. Quilting won't actually take that long. The other quilt that I've been working on is the improv quilt made out of my scraps from all the masks I made over spring and summer. That one actually hasn't moved very much. You guys have seen it in the background. I got it to this state and then kind of stalled out and have been working on other projects and just other things, but that's okay. There's no deadline on that project. I just really wanted to see what I could do with all of the scraps from all of these masks. So it's either going to be like a wall hanging or some kind of a mini quilt. There's not enough material to make a full-size quilt, but there's a bunch more than that. That probably represents about half of the available fabric that I have for this thing. So watch this space. That thing is going to just keep growing and growing. And then the other quilting project that I have that I've been working on is actually a brand new project. I've been working on an all-white quilt. Big spiral. I was just working on the quilting on that one today. And that's for a new project that I don't want to say too much about yet, just because I don't want to jinx myself. But I have a pretty cool idea, and it's a pretty big project with multiple white quilts involved. And yeah, I'm excited about it, but I'm not quite ready for the reveal, but that is something that I'm working on. Another thing that I spent a lot of time working on creatively over the last couple of months is more shibori projects. And I showed you guys some teaser images. I showed you guys what the stuff looked like when it was bound up, but I never showed you what the final results of the shibori dyeing was, because all that stuff was for people's presents for either Hanukkah or Christmas or Yule or solstice or whatever I was sending out presents for people for. So I actually took video back at the beginning of December just to show off the results on that shibori stuff. And now we're going to do a little time traveling back to December and cut that video into this video so that you guys can see what those shibori projects came out like. And I'm super excited to show you this. So let's take a look. So today is Wednesday, December 2nd, and I did a big round of shibori dyeing yesterday, and I want to show it to you guys. But all of these things are holiday presents for people. So we're going to do a little bit of a time warp here. You're probably watching this at the end of December, so greetings, citizens of the future. But I really wanted to show off these they're sick also, silk scarves that I made for some friends and family members. I'm super stoked with how they came out. As you can see, I used different techniques on each one. I hope that all the recipients of these scarves love them as much as I loved making them. I think they will. They are pretty cool. Up close, some little details there for you. So 6 sick silk scarves, but also I have new babies entering my life this year. One of my oldest friends is having a baby, and my sister-in-law, that is my brother's wife, is also gonna have a baby. So of course I had to make some baby suits and some socks for people to keep their feet cozy this winter. And of course I can't do some shibori without doing some shirts. So there you have it. I just wanted to document all of this before I wrap it up and put it into people's packages. Always excited to mail handmade stuff off to my family members and friends. I love the idea of people wearing things that I made and especially being cozy in them over the winter. So there it is. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that look back at the shibori stuff that I was making back in November and December. I think it came out pretty cool. And speaking of the holidays, that's the other thing that's been taking up all my creative energy recently. Making Christmas, as the song says, it takes a lot. It's, between decorating, between figuring out what presents to either make or buy for who, doing, nice looking gift wrap jobs, writing cards, putting together packages for far-flung family. It sucked up a lot of my creative time. I'm not resentful about that. I absolutely love putting together a holiday for the family. I love sending out packages to all of my friends and family that are far-flung. But there is no doubt that takes up a bunch of your creative energy. So just haven't been doing as much art making as I would normally do just because of that. And then the other thing that I'm going to admit to is, maybe you've heard me talking about this on my other social media channels, but I fell really hard into Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I have been spending a lot of time playing Animal Crossing and working on my island and my house and spending a bunch of my creative energy on that. So, which is weird because it's not art necessarily, but there is an art to it. As I've gotten more into playing Animal Crossing, and reading message boards and stuff from other people who play Animal Crossing, there's a huge amount of creativity being used, displayed by people who play this game. People making, islands that are themed after other things, or creating spaces on their island that are set up really interestingly, or, have some cool aesthetic thing going on. My island has a hedge maze on it. I built a rose garden. I built a fruit orchard. I built this crazy rooftop ice bar. I made an outdoor arcade. Sean moved onto my island and started messing around with what's on the island also. And we collaborated on a homeless camp on the beach on our island. So a lot of fun is being had, but also sucking up time and creative energy into Animal Crossing. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think it's a really wholesome game. It's really fun, and there's like no bad stuff. It's like this utopian society where the home loans are, pay back when you want, no interest, and there's never any conflict between characters or battles. And it's just, it's got my best description, the one I gave my mom, is it's a digital dollhouse. So it's a ton of fun. Do you guys play Animal Crossing also? If you do, like, maybe we could be Animal Crossing friends. I don't know. But anyhow, this isn't about Animal Crossing. This is about Studio Update. So that is the studio update for January, I guess. Hope you guys liked this peek into what I've been working on, and especially I hope you like that Shibori stuff that I was showing off. I had a ton of fun doing it. I always do have a ton of fun making art, but as you guys know, working on dye projects and working on sewing projects and working on dyeing and sewing combined projects like these two behind me are just about my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to keep on doing those things. I would love to hear about what you guys are working on creatively these days. Is it more of the same? Have you branched out into new stuff? What's going on in your artistic life? Let me know down below in the comments. I will be back in a few more days with another episode of my vlog. Until then, thank you so much to everyone for watching, and take care and stay safe out there.